Welcome back, guys. This is Justin with BTTW. As promised from my last video, I'm working on this bottom end here for the 29 Harley. So in this video, I'm going to show you a little bit more on the next stages. So here we go. Thanks for joining. Okay. Now I'm fitting the crank pin here. You can see you want this surface super clean, especially since these are new wheels, so they tend to be a little bit on the tight side, which in turn makes the gap a little loose, at least in my experience. So I polish the ends, just the ends, not the center part, just the tapers. I polish them, just polished. I just hit them with some fine emery. And the same with the inside of where the crank pin rests inside the wheels. So I'll just clean them up real quick, just some quick emery. I think I used the same piece on the pin over in the lathe. Yep. So I'll assemble this. Make sure everything's nice and clean. And keep in mind also, this isn't final assembly. I'm just putting everything together, testing it, and then I still have to balance the wheels. So everything will get put together and taken apart quite a few times more. So with that said, I'm just kind of test fitting everything. Don't ever expect to just put a motor together one time, or a bottom end. That ain't gonna happen. At least not to do it properly. You'll never do it properly that way. So everything's nice and clean. I'm gonna put this nut on there. And there we have it. Just gotta tighten it a little bit by hand. And then how I like to tighten these to try and kind of get the flywheels square or true, just put it in the vise. So I'll show you guys that now. Use a torque wrench, 60 pounds to start. Obviously that wasn't 60 pounds. I'm going to work up to 60, so that was 35, 40, 51, I mean. We're going to go just work it up for 60, 72, and I don't know if it's doing anything, but I take the pressure off of them. Go up to 90 pounds. Now we need to check the end play. So ideally, on these motors, looks like 15 to 20 thou. Looks like this one's going to be a little bit tight, or I mean loose. So this is 23 thou. Looks like it's right about 23 thousandths, which is good. I mean, it's within our tolerance. So, and then checking the rods. They feel perfect. Okay. All right. So there's that. We're good. So our crank pin's good. We don't have to ream the wheels. I was kind of worried about that at first. I first slapped them together. I didn't polish the pin or the wheels, the taper in the wheels, and they were quite loose. The rods were quite loose. So that little bit of polishing and then actually torquing them down to spec to the 90 pounds, that squeezed it right in there where it needed to be. So we're good. So then where I can go from there is I can, I'm going to put these things, I do it in the lathe with an indicator because I don't have a truing stand, but I'll true these dudes up and then balance them from there. Before I balance them though, I've got to figure out my pistons. I haven't figured that out yet, so that'll be my next step, is my pistons. I got these new rod bushings. These are most likely going to need modified, so I'll probably have to take some width off of them, and I usually have to change the diameter. So that will actually be my next step, is I'll mock these things up in the cases and mock up a cylinder, and I'll get my compression height and go from there, figure out what pistons I want to run. So I need to do that actually before I balance it, because obviously if I don't have the pistons I can't balance the bottom end. But so that'll actually be the next step. I'll rough true these in. I won't try and get them crazy tight tolerances, but I'll rough them in just so I can slap them in the cases, and then figure out my pistons, get those ordered, and then go from there. So I'll probably actually do that first so I can get my wrist pin bushings fit and get the pistons on there or whatever, at least so I can mock them up. But yeah, it's coming together. So there she is. That's what the pin in, and we're all set.